This is the Jess and Hardcover Comic Book Late Night News something or another show. I don't know. It's live streaming, and we're taking questions and answers.
Woo!
We're doing it because we're not at Comic-Con and a whole bunch of lucky bastards are. I'm not bitter. Hope everybody is doing well tonight. Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody is, cuddled up with their wives, listening to the dulcet tones of Jess and I as we answer questions to viewers all over the world.
Dulcet tones. I like how you say that.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
The dulcet tones of Jess and Hardcover.
This is Casey Kasem with your top 20. Hope you're doing well. And with me, as always, the best damn co-host that a guy can have. Ladies and gentlemen, your silver fox, Monsieur Jess Bragg.
Yo, what's up, dude?
What's up, man? How's it going? What are you doing?
Good. I took my daughter to dinner tonight to celebrate her getting a new job, which is a tradition. This is about her 6th job, so I take her to dinner, and I said, this is the last dinner I'm taking you to for a new job. I wanted the next dinner to be an anniversary. I want to take you out for your 1-year anniversary on a job. She's like, okay, that sounds good. But yeah, it was a good experience, and I'm in a very good mood.
That's awesome, man. I'm super happy for her. Tell her I said congratulations, and I wish her the best on the new job.
All right, thank you. I will. She wants to come on the Omnibus show and answer questions about what I'm like in real life. She's been bugging me about that. I'm like, really? You think people care about me enough that they want to find out what I'm like in real life?
Oh, man. I think it'd be fun. I honestly think it would be fun.
She'd get a kick out of it. I know that.
We have actually a first question already.
Oh.
Yeah. Arya Amir. He is a member of the Omnibus Collectors Facebook group. I hope he is doing well. Hey, John Wilson. Hope you're doing well. But Arya asks, with WB, Fox, Sony, and Marvel Studios all producing even more superhero movies, with about 12 of them coming out from November 2017 till December 2018, are we hitting a breaking point? That's a really good question.
That is.
I'll let you go first because I probably have the unpopular opinion.
So that's wondering if we're going to get hit with audience fatigue.
Right.
That is a really good question. I would say that so far, the numbers have shown in the box office that we are not getting tired yet. Guardians of the Galaxy and Wonder Woman and Logan and Spider-Man Homecoming all did well. That's 4 movies released really close to each other. Wonder Woman, I don't know, it's got close to 400 million box office in just the US. And the rest of them did well too. So I'm going to say right now we're safe. And I think that my feeling is that I think there is an insatiable appetite for this type of entertainment, not only for us nerds, but the general population too. Especially if we get into movies like Wonder Woman 2 and some strong female protagonist movies that'll draw women in. So I will say that based on the strength of the box office and based on the strength of people attending San Diego Comic-Con, which is strictly an entertainment event now anyway, I don't think we're getting there yet. I think that you're going to need to see some really crappy movies released right in a row to get audience fatigue. The movies, for the most part, have been very high quality. All 4 of them this year have been really high quality.
Right.
So my personal opinion is we're not there yet.
Okay. I'm in the same camp as you to a lesser extent.
Okay.
I think we're not there yet. We're on the cusp of it. We are probably at the height of it right now, but I think that fatigue within the next 2 to 3 years is going to start setting in. And what I mean by that is I think it might be a bit too much.
Too many coming out?
I think it might be a bit too many because, and here's my position on it. The way things are going is movies tend to kind of swing back and forth. One of my favorite writers, who was actually the writer for Doctor Strange, C. Robert Cargill, he's got a great podcast called Junk Food Cinema where they talk about 80s B movies and classic, kind of cult movies and stuff like that. He summed it up perfectly. The way things are going is that movies tend to go in waves. We have gone from a wave of the super fantastical to the stuff that's more grounded a little bit more in reality, and then back and forth and back and forth. Right now, we're riding the wave of the super fantastical with the comic book movies and stuff like that. But I would argue that we're starting to see that shift the other way more now, especially with this past last 2 weeks, I would say, with Spider-Man Homecoming being #1 at the box office for only 1 week.
That's a good point.
And then the next week, War for the Planet of the Apes knocked it out of the top spot in the box office. That is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
One of Marvel's biggest character. Granted, you could argue that the brand was a bit, messed up because of the fact that Sony, to a lot of fans, kind of blew it with the last few movies, but it's still Spider-Man, and it's Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it was only in the #1 spot for 1 week. And then it was taken out by War for the Planet of the Apes, which is a movie that's, yes, it's sci-fi and it has slightly fantastical elements, but it's more grounded in reality and in chemicals and things like that. What I think is happening is that the fans, they're starting to realize the Marvel pattern and the Marvel method. I know I'm one of them. I'll be honest, I was not super hyped about Spider-Man Homecoming. I wanted to see it. I'm glad I saw it. I loved it. But going into it, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be another Marvel movie. I've seen this. I've seen the Marvel movies. I've seen the Marvel formula at work. Which is why I also think that Wonder Woman works so well because, in a way, Wonder Woman was really fresh. Because we haven't seen a movie like Wonder Woman where we have such a strong female protagonist that is the lead. Yes, we've had smaller movies like Elektra, Catwoman, and stuff like that, but they were not as they were not as critically praised as Wonder Woman. They were not as loved as Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman offered us something fresh, which is what fans loved about it. And we also have Logan, another movie, but it was an R-rated Wolverine film. And that first trailer with Johnny Cash's Hurt sold that movie to a lot of fans. Last year we had Deadpool, which satirized the comic book genre. These are all successful movies because they bring something different to the table. I think what people are getting tired of is the Marvel method. There's something big at the end that's blowing up. We just figure out a way to stop it. Marvel has a formula, and people are starting to catch on to it. And if they don't do something, I think that comic book movies, they're not going to disappear. They are here to stay. They are pop culture, and they're here to stay. What I can see is that they will go the way of the Western, where they will downsize how many comic book films they're going to be putting out every single year. They'll scale back, and they'll probably go, instead of like 4 to 2 comic book movies or something like that, because they'll start noticing, okay, this is diminishing returns. Somebody jumping in right now, let's say somebody next year, because it's going to happen, they're going to go see Infinity War. They're going to walk in going, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it's going to be complicated.
Right. But
that's a good viewpoint. You made good points.
Yeah, I don't think comic book films are going anywhere, but I think we are approaching the law of diminishing returns. I think they're gonna need to scale back eventually because they just keep cranking out these movies and they keep cranking out this stuff, and I'm starting to get fatigued from it. I'm going into these Marvel movies thinking, oh, I'm getting another Marvel movie. I know what I'm gonna get. It's not really gonna surprise me, but it's gonna be fun. Which is why Logan is my favorite film so far this year, because it it was really cool to see finally a rated R Logan. Not only that, but it was a damn good movie.
Yeah, it was.
So there's my 2 cents. That was long-winded. Sorry.
No, it was good. I mean, you made good points.
Somebody asked, what was our favorite Comic-Con trailer? I'm going to cheat because it was released around this time and say the Stranger Things Season 2 trailer.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yes! Yes!
Where was the, did Giovanni give us a link to that? I rely on Giovanni linking me on everything.
No. In fact, you want to do just a live reaction real quick? I will send you a link.
I'll watch it after.
Okay.
My favorite thing, I watched all 4 minutes of the Justice League trailer, and I thought that was awesome.
That looks fun.
I can't wait to see that movie. I think that it looks like it's coming together really nicely.
That looks really fun.
Yeah. I'm drinking Coke Zero, by the way. That was a question. I'm drinking Coke Zero.
Logan was fantastic. Daphne Keane should get an Oscar nom for Best Supporting Actress. Yes, and she was a great little girl actress.
Almost as good as the little girl in Wonder Woman.
You shut your mouth. The girl was terrible. God, she was horrible. Oh, you know what a movie also had a great little girl this weekend? War for the Planet of the Apes. You know what she wasn't doing? Throwing fake punches. And it looked terrible.
I haven't seen it yet because I haven't seen the first 2 movies yet.
I know. I have to send them to you. I know. I promised I would. Why do people get upset over thin omnibuses? This is a good question by John Paul Wells. Is the omnibus term sometimes just a term to raise the price of some books? I like that question. What do you think?
That is a good question. You know, that is a really good question. I think everybody thinks of Hawkeye as an example. That's a very thin omnibus that they still charged $100 for. But then I was looking at the Golden Age Batman books, and those are $75, and they're like this big. So wait, what was the question? What do we think about it?
Hold on. Let me go back. Why do people get upset over thin omnibuses? Is the omnibus term just something they use to raise the price of some books?
Yeah, it comes down to bang for your buck, I think. It depends on how they're priced. I think Hawkeye should have been priced at $75 because it was so thin. What's another thin one? I'm trying to think of what another thin one was recently.
You know, I'm looking at the Hellboy library editions and the Goon library editions. Marvel has no excuse for them charging $75 for that omnibus.
That's a good point. Yeah, that is a good point.
There is no excuse after looking at those books and what they give and then what the production value is on them that Hawkeye omnibus should be that expensive.
Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, especially the Goon. The Goon is huge.
Yeah.
And not expensive and super high quality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I can see why people are upset. And maybe slapping the omnibus tag on it is an excellent way to grab cash. I did get the Hawkeye. Or did I? Maybe I have the OHCs. I'm trying to look.
I have the trades.
I think I did get the omnibus. Or maybe I have. Let me see here. Oh yeah, I did get the omnibus. So yeah, I got ripped off.
Oh, you went with the omnibus?
Yeah, I did. I had like paperbacks of them, and then I upgraded. Yeah. But I can see why people get frosted about that. That does seem like a cash grab. Especially when I did an overview of Golden Age Batman, and I was shocked that was $75, and they were big, thick books.
Yeah, the Golden Age, DC's pretty good with pricing their Golden Age stuff, though, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that they're all 75, but I know that the Batman ones that I reviewed or overviewed were $75, which I think is amazing when you can get them for 50% off or whatever on IST. So yeah, that's a good question.
I think though that there is a certain stigma, especially in the community that we're a part of. Well, mostly you and Riley now, because I've sold off a lot of my omnibuses. I really don't have almost any Marvel omnibuses at this point. I've gone.
You have sold a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I've been cutting back. That's just, I don't have time or the space for it. So, but I think a lot of people that are in the community if it has a name, we know there are members in the group that are like this, where if there's a name and it says Omnibus on it, they will buy it regardless of what it is. We've discussed, there are a few members in the group that are just like that. Well, they will buy everything.
Yeah. There are a few Omnibuy that I don't have. But I tend to like big, thick collected editions, but I prefer my OHCs to big Omnis because they're easier to read.
What is one omnibus you refuse to buy? The 90s X-Force?
I don't have that one.
I knew it!
I don't have that one, no. I don't have Atlantis Attacks.
Okay.
I don't have, what's that other one everybody always makes fun of? I don't have it. I don't know why I'm looking. Oh boy, Young Avengers. That is a really thin omnibus, but I don't think they charged. I don't think they charged that much for it.
I think Young Avengers was 45.
Yeah, something like that.
It's only like 15 issues, 15, 18 issues. It's not
right.
long.
It's not Atlantis Attacks, but it's the other one. The Crossing, Avengers: The Crossing. I haven't bought that because that's supposed to be awful. So yeah, there's a few omnibus editions that I don't go for just because it says omnibus on it.
Yeah.
I'm a much bigger fan of oversized hardcovers.
What about Nightfall?
No, you know that I don't have that one. I refuse. I would not accept it if they gave it to me. I would say, here, take it back. Not interested in that at all.
It kindles the flame so well during Christmas, doesn't
it? Right. I'm still kind of pissed at my Neil Adams omnibus, to be honest with you. I don't. I was so excited for that for so long, and then it turned out to be such a disappointment.
Here's a question by Kenneth Crawley Jr. Which run of the Inhumans do you recommend reading? The original Jack Kirby run or the Paul Jenkins run from the late 90s, or both? I'm out of this one because I haven't read almost any Inhumans.
The first Inhumans I ever read was the Paul Jenkins one, and I completely got up to speed with everything. I totally understood. I mean, I had a tiny knowledge of what the Inhumans were. I mean, I had basic working Wikipedia knowledge of them. And the Paul Jenkins run, I thought, was brilliant, and it got me up to speed, got me interested in all the modern Inhumans stuff that Marvel's putting out right now. So I personally would read that before I read the Kirby stuff. Mm-hmm. I nothing against the Kirby stuff because it's awesome, but the Jenkins stuff is what made me really fall in love with the Inhumans.
All right, and that seems to be a lot of fans. That seems to be what they say, that the Paul Jenkins and I think Jay Lee run is what really drew a lot of fans first into the Inhumans, especially Jay Lee's art, where he seems to be allergic to backgrounds.
Yeah, you don't like his art because of the background stuff, right?
No. I've always said I'm not a fan of his art. I can see why people like it. It's just not for me. I don't hate his art. It's just really not for me. There's no backgrounds. It's just blue or white or purple.
Yeah, this book.
Yep.
Let's see about the backgrounds. Oh, there's backgrounds. What are you talking about? Well, look, here's all kinds of backgrounds.
I see purple and lightning.
Well, I can't disagree with that. And look at this. You don't see too much here either.
Yeah.
I dig his artwork, and boy, I dug the story. Boy, you're right. He really doesn't. He does just color it in.
Yeah, that's his art style, though.
Wow. Yeah, this book was great. So here's some good coloring in. So yeah, that's my recommendation. That's what I'd do. And I guess you'd have to. I don't know. Let me think. Where Inhumans started around issue 44, so I'm guessing that's in Fantastic Four 2 Omnibus. That's a guess. So that's where you'd go to read that Inhuman stuff. I don't know offhand. Maybe somebody in the chat knows if the Inhumans have been collected. The Jack Kirby Inhumans have been collected in paperback form or something. If so, I'm not aware of it, but maybe they have been.
I think
Geo would know.
Yeah, I think Gio's in the chat too. He would know if that was collected or not. I saw a question. Oh, John Wilson says, Jess, loving Alex Robinson's Tricked. Thanks for turning me on to him with Too Cool to Be Forgotten. I don't know what that is.
Awesome. Too Cool to Be Forgotten?
Mm-hmm.
That is a great book. Let's see if I can go get it. Just a sec. I know right where it is. Yeah, this is one of the better independent books. It's from Top Shelf. Too Cool to Be Forgotten.
I've seen this.
Yeah. The main character in it tries hypnosis to quit smoking, and he's transformed back to high school, but with his current brain. So he's forced to relive high school with an adult brain, and he has to decide whether or not he is going to correct all the dumb things he did in high school, which is something, something that I think everybody probably thinks of. Yeah. Wouldn't I love to go back to high school and just not do the stupid, gorky things that I did? And this book, I believe it's black and white. It's a tiny book, but it's really, really good. It's really well done. You really get the awkwardness and the sense of wanting to get it right. And Robinson just does a great job on this. And I like Tricked, and I also like Box Office Poison, which is another book that's really good. And I think there's a sequel to Box Office Poison too. Also, I mean, so yeah, this book is one of my favorites. I'm glad that I've been able to turn people on to this book because it's really fun. Painful but fun.
I've always seen the cover of it, and I thought, oh, that looks pretty cool. I wonder what it's about. I didn't know it was about that, like going back in time or anything. I thought it was like something about smoking.
Yeah, well, yeah. Ostensibly, it's about his trying to quit smoking by getting hypnotized, and he ends up transported back to high school. It's dirt cheap. It's only $15, and so on IST it'd be like $7 if they carry it, or Amazon would carry it. But yeah, it's really a good book.
Kenneth Crawley, no, my bad. Insidious Swede asks, what are some underrated indie series that you've read?
Underrated indie series. I'll pull one right here.
By the way, just as a heads up. No,
what's that?
You're here. I was just going to say, just as a heads up, if you haven't checked out Insidious Swede's channel, please do so. The guy's got great content up there. Very underrated channel.
Oh.
Just don't.
I think Doom Boy is underrated. It's from Magnetic Press. And it's about a kid that he's called D. D never set out to become a rock god, Let me see if I can get some pictures. The artwork in it is really cool.
Oh, you've talked about this before.
Yeah, he's just a quiet teen with an active imagination, playing songs to his lost love beyond the grave. But when that music reaches farther than expected, he unknowingly becomes the anonymous metal legend known only as Doom Boy. This book is cool, and I don't think enough people know about it. I love Doom Boy. I don't know if you're getting a good shot of the art there. But it's written and drawn by Tony Sandoval. And I love this book. It's completely underrated. It's an independent, and not enough people know about it. So there's my one recommendation.
I really dig the art on Doom Boy.
Yeah, I think you dig Doom Boy. This is a book that's a little bit cerebral, a little bit out of the box, and I think you'd really dig it. I think this would be right up your alley. This was recommended to me by the fabulous Bon Idlehouse from California, who is such a great guy, and he's always recommending really cool books. Let me see what else I have. Oh, here's a good book that's not independent. It's from Vertigo.
While you talk that, I'm actually going to pull something off my shelf real quick, okay?
Okay. I don't think this gets enough credit, but since I'm an alcoholic, this book really appealed to me. The Alcoholic from Vertigo by Jonathan Ames with great art by Dean Haspiel. It's black and white, and boy, does it really capture what it's like to go through recovery and what it's like to be an alcoholic. But it's slice of life stuff too, so it's not all about that, but it is about the guy's life. And it's a Vertigo comic that I don't think gets enough appreciation or love. It's really really well done with great art, and it captures what it's like to be an alcoholic and have to deal with your life on an everyday basis. So that's a good book. Let me see what else.
I'm going to say Saga. No, Saga's not.
Saga.
It's criminally overrated, especially in this year's Eisners.
Yeah, I saw your comments.
Oh, God.
What do you got?
I have Very Near Mint by Justin Peterson.
Oh, I don't know this book.
Yeah, this is about as indie as you can get. This guy, he kickstarted this comic. He's a local here in Tampa, and this is awesome stuff. Absolutely hilarious. Very Near Mint, it's been a while since I've read this, stars Colin Turner and Sam Jones. They own a pretty awesome comic book shop, The Splash Page. Business is great. They have a brand new employee, Nate, and Colin's ex-girlfriend, Mackenzie, is back. Everything seems like it's fantastic. That is until this week's new comic books don't show up. Then things get really complicated and everything starts getting messed up, and other important stuff also happens, but we don't want to spoil it for you. That's what the internet is for. This is fun. This is more in the vein of something like Scott Pilgrim, where they kind of bend the rules of reality a little bit. They go a little bit hyper real sometimes, but if you have not picked this up and you are a fan of comic books, this is definitely a must buy. There's 3 volumes out right now, and it kind of has one entire arc. But I dug the absolute hell out of this. If you haven't picked this up,
how did you learn about it?
I learned about this because I met the guy at MegaCon, and every year that I go to MegaCon, I always try to find at least one indie creator, and I try to support them because booths aren't cheap and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I'll pick up a trade. So it was Friday. I bought the first volume. I sat down while I was waiting for a panel. I breezed through the first volume, and I went, holy shit. And I ran back downstairs, and I picked up the other 2 volumes, and I had him sign these for me. These are great. He kickstarted this whole thing, and he made his money and then some for these books. He is fantastic. He's a great writer, and if you haven't, I really recommend you check this book out. Very Near Mint by Justin Peterson. You can find it online. He's got his own website. And, dude, it's so good. You being a comic book fan, he throws little in-jokes and stuff like that.
Cool.
Throughout this entire book. It's really, really good, and you're missing out if you haven't read this.
Oh, fun. I totally want that book.
Yeah, I recommend you do, man.
Good.
I think you would dig it a lot.
And you just picked that up at MegaCon? Do you think I can get it from Amazon?
It's gonna have to be. Let me take a look. I'm pretty sure you can get it through his personal website.
Oh,
but
okay.
He has like an oversized deluxe edition. That's a paperback that has all
Does
of
it
it.
say Omnibus on it?
I don't think so. verynearmint.bigcartel.com. So the website is verynearmint.bigcartel.com. And hold on. Contact Cart about Very Near Mint. No, that's his. Where can I buy the damn thing?
Yeah, and City of Swedes asking, do you know where I could order Very Near Mint?
I'm looking for it right now. Jess, stall.
What?
Stall.
Oh, here's a question. What is the worst book from your favorite writer? I have an answer to that. Just a second. I'll go get it. I reviewed this book, and I did not like it at all, and it's Veil by Greg Rucka. And I love everything that Greg Rucka does, and I was really disappointed in this book. I disliked it immensely. It gets lots of great, on the back of the book, there's all kinds of great quotes about what a great book it is, but I thought this was just boring as heck and went nowhere. I was really disappointed in this Greg Rucka book. So, yeah, there's the worst book by my favorite writer. And I've read a lot of Greg Rucka. So, there, I answered that question.
So I'm looking on his website. I don't think he's delivering them anymore. Justin Peterson. He's only got a link to his Facebook. So I'm going to link his Facebook. I would imagine you could send him a... Hold on. Oh, I found it. All right. Justin Peterson .bigcartel.com.
It's available on Amazon, but from third-party guys.
So you probably get it there.
So where did you say? Oh, are you posting where in the stream?
If he has it here, I'm surprised he doesn't. Comics. Let's see. Okay. No, he doesn't have it. Oh, that's a shame. I guess try messaging him through Facebook, and I'm sure he can. He was just at MegaCon this past week, and this past year, and he had a whole bunch of them that he was selling. He used to deliver them.
Personally?
No. But absolutely recommend Very Near Mint.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now you've got us all hyped on it, and we can't get it, so that's going to create a Valiant-like fever.
I just posted the link to his Facebook page on in the chat. Jess, is the death-defying Dr. Mirage, okay to read if you haven't read any Valiant before? Looks standalone.
Yes, it is. It was the very first Valiant book I ever read. I knew nothing of the Valiant universe. The Valiant universe was already well established, and Dr. Mirage was a brilliant book that is completely standalone. You don't need to know anything about Valiant at all, and I thought it was great. This reminds me I need to reread it. I read it like 3 or 4 times when I first got it, and yeah, I highly recommend it.
I haven't read it, but if you're looking at starting at Valiant, Harbinger is a good place to start, as is Exo and Man of War. Let's see. Has anyone read The Art of Charlie Chan Hok-Chi by Sonny Liu? No, but I've heard amazing things. I've heard it's fantastic. I need to read this. Insidious Swede says, said this earlier, but I'm glad you enjoyed Postal, Jess. It's my absolute favorite comic of all time.
I love Postal. I just picked up the 5th volume. I've got to read it this week. What a great book. Super creative and a great great premise. I dug the heck out of it. I'm glad he said that because that reminds me I need to pull that out and read it.
Would you consider ever buying an artist edition? The massive oversized books from IDW with the original art scans. Not for me.
That's not for me either.
I would love. Huh?
I know they're popular and probably for a good reason, but that's not in my wheelhouse.
I would love to have the Mike Mignola Hellboy one just because I love Hellboy, but aside from that, there's nothing that I'm going out of my way, and they're pricey. They are
really
expensive.
Yeah, they are expensive. Although, is this the artist edition of Peanuts I got? I did buy an artist edition. The Peanuts artist edition. This is the only artist edition I have, is this Peanuts book.
Oh, but that's classic stuff.
Yeah, and it's all kinds of strips. And it came in this huge Amazon IST box. And it's a great book.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Were you the one? I asked you this, I think, before. Did Charlie Brown ever actually get to kick the football? And you said no, right?
Correct.
Because Schultz said that life doesn't work that way or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. He said that would defeat the whole purpose of the idea of her pulling the football away from him. And his kids were always after him to let him kick it. Like that was what his kids wanted to do for the final comic strip. And his kids were always bugging him to let Charlie Brown kick the football, and he refused. And he didn't do it as the last strip.
Locke asks, what do you guys prefer, reading monthly or waiting and binge reading? I like binge reading.
I like to wait and binge read.
Yeah. I will purposefully wait sometimes for there to be like 2 or 3 volumes of a book I really enjoy and then binge read it.
Yeah, me too. That's exactly how I do it.
And there are certain books also that they lend themselves better to binge reading. I think Hickman's one of those writers that he lends himself more to the binge reading format because he is such a long game writer.
Mm-hmm.
Grant Morrison's that way for me. Hickman, Walking Dead is that way for me, where I think it works better being binge read.
I haven't read any Walking Dead.
The first 48 issues are good, and then after that, it just kind of spins its wheels.
I'm reading Astounding Wolfman right now by Robert Kirkman, and I mean I just got started, but I'm starting to wonder if this guy can really write.
I've heard that complaint.
I know Invincible's great because I've read Invincible. I haven't read all of it, but I've read the first 4 books, and that is a solid book. But you know, I disliked Outcast immensely, and it's too early for me to give a verdict on Astounding Wolfman. But already I'm thinking, wait, there's something missing here. There's a couple things missing here. There's a lot of things missing here. So I need to read the whole book before I can actually give it a grade. But I'm starting to wonder if he can actually write or if he just got lucky.
I'm going to give you an unpopular opinion.
Okay.
I don't think he writes that well.
Uh-huh.
Invincible's the best thing he's written.
Right. And
even then, there are points where I wasn't that interested in the book, where it started to really slow down. And he does certain things later on in Invincible where I'm like, that was purely for shock value. There was no reason why you did that thing, and you never touched on it again, and it pissed me off to the point where I dropped the book. One specific point where I'm going to be very blunt about this. If I ever saw Kirkman in person and I had just read that point, what he did to a character, not because it was grotesque or it was violent or it was out of character, it was just too much for the sake of being too much, I would have probably hit him in the face. I'm being dead serious. If there was a point where, and it was involving a female character, where I was like, why did you do that? That was just way too much for the state that character was in. And it pissed me off so much where, if I swear to you, Jess, I would have gone to jail that day if I seen him in person.
Wow. That's a pretty visceral reaction.
And it completely turned me off the book. Completely turned me off the book.
I haven't got to that point yet.
Yeah. It turned me off the book and most of his writing, because I don't want to spoil it because you haven't gotten that part, but there's a certain character where she's pregnant and then Kirkman decides to do something where I'm like, I'm done. I'm out.
Wow.
I'm out. I'm done with your writing. And I'm like, for Christ's sake, my favorite book is Preacher. So I'm not somebody that's easily offended or anything like that, but it just felt like it was just shock value for the sake of shock value. And Kirkman does that even in The Walking Dead. And that was my point where I was like, I'm done with Kirkman almost as a writer. I tried Outcast, and I wasn't too blown away with the first hardcover of Outcast. I thought it was okay at best. It really didn't bring anything new to the table. It honestly felt more like Kirkman was just trying to pitch a TV show more than anything else. But that was it. That was my breaking point with Kirkman. I have since gone and tried to read Walking Dead, and I'm like, this is the same shit over and over. It's the same thing. It's circular. There's nothing that changes in The Walking Dead. They discover a new home. It gets torn to shit. They move on. They discover another new place. Rinse and repeat. It's the same thing. Yes, he throws little variances on the villains and stuff like that, but it's the same thing. Send the hate mail at hardcoverreviews@gmail.com.
Well, I'll have to wait till I finish Astounding Wolfman to see what I think of that.
I like this one. Maxwell Unasak. What's your opinion on Mark Millar?
Are you asking me that, or are you going to answer it?
You can go first, and then I'll answer.
I like a lot of his stuff. I get why people don't, but I happen to be in the camp of I like a lot of his stuff. Trying to think of something I don't like. I love the Kingsman book. That was good. I really enjoyed that. I got to see the movie because I heard that movie was great. So I don't like to tar an writer that's written that much with a brush. I enjoyed his Wolverine. I'm looking at it right now. I liked his Wolverine a lot. I love the Ultimates, so I think he has more hits than misses, in my opinion. So that's just my opinion.
I'm the same way. I'm pretty much the exact same way. I like Millar. I like him as a writer. I dig his Ultimates. I love Old Man Logan. There was a point where he was writing some really crappy stuff. I think Nemesis was a book that I thought, this is terrible. But he has since bounced back, and he's been delivering some good stuff, especially his Jupiter Legacy stuff.
Yeah, I like that book. I like that book a lot.
It's been so good, man. His Jupiter's Legacy stuff is probably some of the best stuff he's written in a long time.
Tyler Blunt. Jess, what are you doing? Turntable isn't even finished yet. I know, I have to take pictures. We're creating a new subgroup. It's a subgroup of the subgroup. It's going to be about records. Tyler Blunt's too funny.
Kick-Ass is overrated. This is coming from Tyler, whose favorite Marvel movie is Elektra.
Kick-Ass is overrated? Oh,
I love you. I love you, Tyler. I'm just kidding. His favorite Marvel movie is Elektra, by the way. Just don't know.
Yeah, I know. Somebody asked me a question back here. Jess, what are you doing? Turntable's not even finished. I know. Wait, somebody asked something. Am I double dipping on the Giant Days hardcover? That is a good question. I love Giant Days. I love Giant Days. I have all 5 volumes on paperback, and it's a financial thing. What am I going to do with those 5 paperbacks? Sell them at Second and Charles for $10 and then upgrade? I don't know. I guess I could do that. I may be okay. I stuck with my paperbacks for Sunstone, even though there was a beautiful hardcover that came out for it. So I may just be sticking with the paperbacks for Giant Days.
We have breaking news. I think this is going to be interesting.
Oh, we do?
Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. are doing Superman Year 1.
How do you know that?
They just announced it.
Oh, at Comic-Con?
Yeah.
Say it again. Who's doing it?
Frank Miller and John Romita Jr., the Daredevil Man Without Fear team.
Oh, that's going to suck. Frank Miller can't write, and everybody hates John Romita Jr., so jeez. Forget it. I'm not interested in that at all.
I like the bluntness, by the way. That was the best. Oh my god!
I can only tell you what I feel.
Oh yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
No,
that sounds terrible.
That's underwhelming.
Oh fuck yeah! Miller on Superman Year 1 is going to be amazing.
I know John's messing with us.
He's got to be.
Yeah, I know.
Have you actually read anything Miller's written in the past 10 years? And has it been good?
No, he's messing with us.
Jeez. Like, didn't Miller at one... I keep bringing this up, I know, and I always forget. But Miller at one point, he wrote Batman fighting Al-Qaeda, right? Because that was his way of fighting terrorism.
Yeah, and then they had to strip it out, and it just got called Holy Terror. They had to take Batman out of it.
Yeah. Tyler says, I have never agreed more nor felt so attracted to Jess Bragg as I do now.
Woohoo! Tyler, my man.
Tyler's a good-looking guy, just saying.
He is. He has a pretty wife, too, which is unfortunate. Otherwise, we could get something going.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to pull this episode like I did that one live stream episode with me, Gio, and Gabe. For those of you that are wondering out there, there was, in fact, one live stream episode that is not archived. It was deleted and stripped off of this YouTube channel simply because me, Gabe, and Gio, we went so far off tangent and we went so out there as far as like what we talked about. I was like, I just got to pull this.
When was that? This
was like a month ago. It was a late night Q&A, like around this time. It was after an Omnibus live. I was like, hey, I'm kind of bored. Do you want to do Q&A? And it was like around 11:30 at night. It was super late at night. And we went on till about 1 in the morning. And we talked about like politics, sex, like our first time having sex. It was the raunchiest thing we probably have ever done.
Oh, wow. I never even got to see that. I never even heard about that one.
We went off, dude. Like stuff that we usually shy away from on this channel and stuff we usually don't, like we've all said, yeah, we're not talking about that. For some reason, during that hour and a half time span, we talked about all of it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, like me and Gabe told our first stories of like the first time we had sex and like the weird encounters we had when we had sex. And at the end of all that stuff, we all agreed, yeah, we're pulling this episode. We are not keeping this up there.
So it never re-aired then?
It never re-aired, and I stripped it.
That's hilarious. I never even saw it.
Because the minute that I ended it, I went and I deleted it. It was that bad.
I've been to every Walmart in my area, Beto. There's no more Walmarts for me to go to. I even went there on a Saturday looking for that pop for Gabriel, and I just never found it.
Let's hear more about a vinyl subgroup.
It's in the planning stages. I can't say more than that. It's not a reality yet.
Hardcover I broke this week. I've been waiting so long to pick up the Rebirth Deluxe editions, but I fell into a pit, and I've been picking up every single issue for Rebirth, the good titles. Oh, that's cool. I'm happy for you. Rebirth has got some good stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Flash this week.
It's coming out this week. When does Batman come out?
Not sure. Maybe somebody in the group, maybe somebody in the chat knows. It sounds like September and October are going to be big months for Rebirth.
Have you read Dave Gibbons' Batman, Superman, World's Finest?
I don't know that I have. I'm looking over my Batman, Superman wall, and I don't. Did he illustrate it too? Or did he write it?
Know.
Huh. No, I'm not familiar with
it. Dirty Hot Dog Waterfall. Wow.
What a great name.
Anyone mention the Flashpoint movie? I called it. I called it. I called it. I've been calling it for 2 years now. That if DC Comics wanted to fix their universe, Flashpoint this bitch.
What are you talking about? Is there a Flashpoint movie?
The Flash movie is going to be Flashpoint.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, they've confirmed it at MegaCon. It's San Diego Comic-Con this week.
So that's how they're going to reboot everything?
I don't think they'll full-on reboot, but with the rumor that Ben Affleck is leaving Batman this past week, that he's done after Justice League, this would be the perfect out for him. This would be the perfect out, and they could kind of... They've said that they are kind of shying away from the dark, gritty Snyder stuff, and they're bringing in more hope and more positive influences and stuff like that. I can totally see them using Flashpoint as an excuse to go, oh yeah, Batman never killed. Superman never killed. All these like really hateful and shitty stuff that you really don't like from the DC Universe movies, that's gone. This is the proper DC Universe movie right now.
Oh, wow. I didn't know about this.
I've been saying this for years that that's how they would fix it, that they would Flashpoint it.
You never said it to me because this is the first I've heard it. You never said it to me because this is the first I've heard of it.
But Affleck refuted it today. He didn't outright say it. He said that, what was it? He said basically like, I would love to work with Matthew Vaughn and stuff like that. He didn't outright say that he wasn't not leaving and he was staying on the project. Plus, of course he's going to say that he's staying on the project. Or he's going to hint that he's staying on the project. Justice League comes out in a few months.
I can't wait for Justice League. Lloyd Wong, did Omnidog ever get that figure they were talking about from the Omnibus stream on Thursday? I don't remember what figure I was talking about, Lloyd. What are we talking about? CatDog? If we're talking about CatDog that Geo stole from me from Gabriel, then oh yeah, I did get CatDog. As a matter of fact, I'll show you right now. It's flocked.
That reminds me, I need to quick pay Gabe because he's got one for me.
Here's CatDog right here. It's flocked.
I can't wait to get mine.
Yeah, I did get it. I found a GameStop that held it for me, and very happy to get it. This was my daughter's and my one of our favorite shows to watch on Nickelodeon. So yes, I did get it. Thank you for asking.
Locke asks, would you like to see an East of West movie? I would rather see a TV show.
Boy, that would be an intense CGI. They'd need a lot of CGI to do that properly.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder how that would work if it would get a good audience, because that's a book that requires multiple readings. For me, the more I read it, the more I understood it. That's a very complicated book. I don't know how well it would do as something brought to either screen, big or little, unless they stripped out a bunch of the nuances, and then it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
But boy, is that an onion of a book with so many layers. It's so interesting that I think it deserves the hype that Saga gets.
I love East of West, man.
Yeah.
Love me some East of West. It's the best thing Hickman is writing right now.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that.
Tyler Blow. Here's a serious question for you guys. Would you rather, 1, fly, but only straight up? 2, run at super speed, but only backwards? Serious responses only, please. Well, okay, I'll go first. If I can only fly straight up, how am I going to get back down?
Yeah.
Because if I can't get back down, that means that I stop flying and I'm just going to crash. So I'm going to say run at super speed, but only backwards. I'll go with that.
I agree with that.
Because flying up, I can fly up. That's fine. But coming back down is where I get into the problem.
Here's a good question for you about Abe Sapien.
Uh-huh.
Can I read Abe Sapien after I read all of Hellboy, or is that going to spoil something about Abe?
Nothing at all. Well, it will not spoil anything simply because of the way that the comic is designed. That I think, it was volume 4, volume 5. Hellboy quits the BPRD, and the story goes their separate ways. Where Hellboy goes on a completely different quest across the world, and Abe Sapien is left with the rest of the BPRD dealing with the plague of frogs. You'll be fine.
Yeah. I just got done with Hellboy Volume 4, and now I've started BPRD Plague of Frogs. So that's exactly right. There's a whole reading order on the Mignolaverse. That's what I'm following.
What, have you read The Wild Hunt yet?
The Wild Hunt?
Yeah.
That's not in BPRD?
It's in the library editions of Hellboy.
The Wild Hunt. That doesn't sound familiar.
You might not have read it. I think Wild Hunt is volume 5, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not due to read volume 5 for a while because I got a bunch of BPRD to read.
Caldwell Comics just got the X900E in yesterday, trying to calibrate it. That's the TV that I have. Go to Artings. I'm using their settings, and it's fantastic.
Will Jess ever watch Prometheus? Man, you guys know my life better than I do. I gotta watch that movie.
Tune in next week for same bat channel, same bat time.
I need to see Prometheus so then I can see what's the name of the one that just got released?
Covenant.
Covenant, yeah. I want to see both of those. I don't care what any critic says. I want to see both of those. So, yeah, I need to see it. What was the other movie I needed to see besides Prometheus?
I don't remember.
You're always teasing me about.
I don't remember. Have you seen the Shape of Water trailer?
I did. Yeah, I watched it today.
Abe Sapien, the movie, right?
Yeah, it sure does look like him.
It's basically him, yeah.
Yeah, it sure did look like him. It looks like an interesting movie. I like the concept with the mute woman. I think that's interesting. And of course, General Zod is always great as a bad guy. So
I wouldn't find him.
What?
I like that actor.
Yeah.
Caldwell Comics, John Wick or Planet of the Apes? I'm gonna say Apes.
Haven't seen either, so I can't say.
Oh, Jess.
I know. I need to see both John Wicks. I hear they're awesome. Oh, I did see Mad Max Fury Road. I love that.
That's so good.
That. That is a great one. That is a great movie. God, I love that movie. I could see that again.
John Paulwell, spin-off Game of Thrones world comic. I would love to see it because we're only seeing the continent of Westeros. There's also Easteros, Southteros, I believe, and Northeros. Those are different continents in the Game of Thrones world that that George R. R. Martin has never touched.
Oh, he was Caldwell was saying I need to see John Wick and Planet of the Apes.
You need to see John Wick. You would like John Wick.
Yeah. No, I love the whole concept, the whole idea of it. I've heard enough about it that, yeah, I do.
I think you would like Train to Busan. That was good.
What is it?
Train to Busan. It's on Netflix. It's a Korean film.
Train to Busan?
Train to Busan. I believe it's a Korean
Train to Busan.
Yes. I believe it's a Korean zombie film. It's so good.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's about all these people that are locked inside of a train as the zombie apocalypse is going on around them, and they're trying to make it to Busan.
Oh, cool.
It's really good.
That sounds claustrophobic and panicky. Well, tomorrow I'm going to see Kiki's Delivery Service, and after I see that, I'm going to sit down and watch a 4-hour version of Watchmen. It's almost 4 hours.
Oh, you're watching the director's cut. You've never seen it?
No.
I like it.
I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I need to see it. It's almost 4 hours.
Yeah, I mean, Watchmen purists will probably hate it.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like it a lot. It's Zack Snyder, and I've criticized him in the past, and I said I'm not the biggest fan of his movies, but I think his Watchmen is actually pretty damn good.
Good. I'm looking forward to it. I just can't believe that it's that long.
Yeah, and he radically changes the ending of the book.
That's what I heard. That's okay. I'm fine with that.
But for the most part, it's a very faithful adaptation.
Jess, have you seen Get Out? I'm scared of scary movies, so I haven't seen it yet. I know it's supposed to be a masterpiece, but I haven't seen it yet. I'm scared.
Get Out is fantastic. Let me get something to drink real quick.
From my understanding, they do integrate the pirate stuff in the movie.
Yeah, they do.
Right.
Originally, that stuff was separate.
Oh, okay. So they integrate it in the director's cut?
Yeah, they integrated it into the director's cut. Caldwell says, just picked up collecting steelbooks. Another hobby to spend money on. Don't go down that rabbit hole, man. I'm telling you right now. That is a rabbit hole you do not.
Yeah, that's one I'm staying away from. I don't buy that many movies. I'm
Jess,
more of a
have you
renter.
seen the Cowboy Bebop movie?
I have. I watched all of Cowboy Bebop and the movie because Alex Holmes, also known as Sherlock Alexi, gifted it to me. The nice guy that he is, he sent me the DVDs of both Cowboy Bebop and the movie. I loved it. I just got done watching Samurai Champloo. That was great too. So those are the two animes that I've seen. And I think I'm watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood next.
Woohoo!
That's what I was told to watch. I pretty much do what Sherlock tells me to watch.
What is your least favorite Alan Moore comic from Hell? I've never finished it. I tried reading it, and the way that it's written, the lettering, it turned me off completely. But that was years ago.
Gee, I don't know. I kind of have liked everything that I've read from him. I'm trying to think of something that I really disliked. Some of his horror stuff is pretty out there, like Neonomicon and Providence. That stuff's out there. I would say I like those, but they're not my favorite. So I don't dislike them, but they're not my favorite Alan Moore ones.
Somebody's saying Alan Moore's Wildcats is pretty bland.
Alan Moore wrote Wildcats?
Yeah. You know Alan Moore wrote Wildcats?
I guess I did know that. That's funny.
Yeah. What's your opinion on Kevin Smith's films? I liked Mallrats. I like Chasing Amy. I, of course, like Clerks. I liked not Jay and Silent Bob. I liked Clerks 2. And then after that, I haven't liked anything since. Those are the only one of his films. And I'm not a diehard Kevin Smith fan like a lot of guys out there are. I think he's okay. You know, I thought Tusk was terrible. Ugh.
I've only seen Clerks and Chasing Amy, so those are the only two I've seen. I like them both, but those are the only two I've seen.
Lewis, are the Planet of the Hulk omnis interesting to you, or are they too much? I'm not sure what you mean by interesting to me. Are you talking about price? Have you read any Gilbert or Jamie Hernandez? I have not.
I have tried it, and it is just not my cup of tea.
What is it? They do the Love and Rockets stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just such a confusing mess. I don't know where to start with it.
Yeah, I tried back in like the 80s to get into it, and the 90s, and the 2000s, and I've just never been able to get into it.
I don't know where to start. I have no clue where to start with the damn series. I just need to look online and start. I've never tried. I've said it already. I am shying away from buying omnibuses. So for those of you that are wondering, I'm not buying as many omnibuses other than the like odd one out, simply because I just can't afford it anymore, and I'm not gonna break the bank anymore to afford omnibuses, especially when I do overviews and reviews for them, and nobody really watches them. So I'm like, okay, well, that's part of the reason why I changed the format.
Yeah, your format change is very interesting.
I like it.
Yeah, they're like really intricate think pieces, I think. I like where you've taken it.
I'm still doing reviews, obviously, because the channel's called Hardcover Reviews, but it's going to be more on smaller hardcovers and trade paperbacks and like smaller collector's editions. I just can't do the omnibus grind anymore. I can't.
Yeah, well, it's not for you.
Yeah. I read the first 3 omnibuses for Walking Dead, and now I can't stand the title. Is it worth continuing? No. No, it is not. If you got up to issue 48, you've read The Walking Dead. Congratulations. You can hang your hat on that, and you're done. If you want to skip ahead to issue 100 where they introduce Negan and then read All Out War, by all means do so, but you really don't need to know much else.
What's your opinion on Batman Year 100? I loved it. I think it's one of the best things Paul Pope's ever done. I thought it was brilliant.
I need to read that.
That was an excellent take on Batman.
Yeah, I really need to read that. I read the first 3 omnibuses for Walking Dead. Have you read any of Neil Gaiman's comics besides Sandman? I haven't, actually.
Let's see. I read Books of Magic.
You did a Marvel 19-something or 1862.
Oh, 1692 or something? Yeah.
That's what it Yeah.
Let's see. Black Orchid I read. That was great. Books of Magic was great. Those are the two that come to mind that I've read by him. So those are the two that I'm thinking of. What else? He's written. I guess it's just other Sandman offshoot books that he's written that I've read. I tried getting into 1602 Marvel, and I just couldn't get into it. So I just couldn't get into that book.
Yeah, Sandman to me will always be his greatest writing, whatever he's written. His magnum opus for me. Omnidog, have you read any post Neil Gaiman books of magic?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that author's name that wrote it. I'm sure you guys can come up with it, but I liked it. I liked the first few trade paperbacks that I read. So yeah, oh, gosh, what was that writer's name? I can't think. Yeah, John Nay Raber. Liked it a lot. I thought he did a good job with it.
Do you like David Lynch movies?
Have I seen any?
I'm trying to think of what he's done. I'm probably have seen it. I'm blanking on what he's done so far.
Didn't he do Blue Velvet? That's probably the only David Lynch movie I ever saw.
Let's see what his filmography is.
I'm sure I've only seen one.
I'm sure I've seen something of his. Okay, here we go. Films. Eraserhead.
Oh yeah, I saw that a long time ago.
The Elephant Man.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Dune.
Never saw that.
Blue Velvet.
Saw that.
Wild at Heart.
Huh, I think I may have seen that.
Twin Peaks. Fire Walk with Me.
No, I never saw that. I saw the first season of the TV show and liked it, but then he lost me on the second season of the TV show.
I've heard that. I've heard that from a lot of fans that the first season of Twin Peaks is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The second season was garbage. And then there was a movie that came out after that that kind of helped redeem the second season that was really good. And now they're on the third season.
Right. I know Colin O'Neill really loves the TV show that's on now.
Let's keep going down the list. Lost Highway.
Never heard of it.
The Straight Story.
Oh, I saw that. That's a great movie. He did that? That's a wonderful movie.
Yeah. Mulholland Drive.
I've heard that's great. I haven't seen it.
Inland Empire.
Oh, I've heard about that too. That's supposed to be really good.
Those are his movies.
Yeah, Mulholland Drive. I want to see that.
So I'm O for everything. I have never seen his movies.
You haven't seen any of his movies?
I've never seen a David Lynch film. Huh.
It turns out I've seen more than I thought.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some snobby critic or something. Oh my god, I can't believe he's never seen David Lynch. Oh my god, he's such a fucking loser. Yeah, I've never seen David Lynch. I have seen Con Air. It's just as good.
Con Air.
Hey, Con Air is a 90s classic. Put the bunny down. I love Con Air. That was the summer of Nick Cage when he could do no wrong. He had Face Off and Con Air in the same summer.
God, Face Off was great.
I love dude, I watch Face Off at least twice every year. I love Face Off. It's so good.
It is great.
Oh, they took his face. Oh.
Okay, John, I will definitely watch Mulholland Drive after I see Prometheus and Planet of the Apes. Because those are the two I have to see.
Hall of Famer sports gamer, should I write Steve Ditko a letter? He lives like 3 blocks away from my apartment. You can, but don't expect the best response.
Yeah, you should, because I've seen some responses, and
Ooh.
they're really amazing.
They range from thankful to an asshole.
Yeah, he's like a really cranky guy. I would love to write him a letter just to see what he would say.
Ah. And somebody actually sent me his physical address and like write him a letter, and I've always wanted to do it, but I'm intimidated by what he's gonna write back.
Yeah, I know.
I should ask him to be on Omni Bros Live. Can you imagine if we got him? Can you imagine that if we actually got Steve Ditko to be on a live stream with us?
I wouldn't even know what to say to him.
I would honestly be like, all right, Steve, let's be honest. How big of a dick was Stanley?
Are you bitter?
Are you bitter? Did he really steal a lot of your work like they say he did?
Yeah.
Steve Ditko is better than Jack Kirby personally. I disagree.
Everybody has their own taste.
What do you feel? Do you feel the same way?
I don't know. Jack Kirby's probably my number 1, number 2 artist. So I would have trouble putting anybody before him, except for Carmine Infantino, who I love.
Oh, well, Carmine's so good.
Yeah.
I think the amount of creativity that comes out of Kirby just cannot be beat. What Kirby came up with the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
That's just it. He was the Marvel Universe.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no arguing that.
Yeah. Like Ditko was great. Ditko was fantastic. I loved his Spider-Man run. I loved the art in it. But you just can't beat the output that Kirby put out.
Nope. Not at all.
How did you feel, by the way? You saw Spider-Man Homecoming. How did you feel about them capturing that one classic scene from the Ditko era? Without getting too spoilery.
Which scene are we talking about?
The water.
I just saw this movie yesterday. The water. What happened?
All right, spoilers for Spider-Man Homecoming for like one scene. If you haven't seen the damn movie, all 2 of you that haven't seen the damn movie already. There's that particular scene where he's being crushed by like a bunch of bricks and stuff like that, and he pushes himself off of it because he remembers what Tony Stark said to him.
Oh, yeah. What's that from?
It's from Steve Ditko's run, where he's pushing up, like he's got a whole bunch of pipes on him and stuff like that, and he's being flooded in a building. It's that iconic scene where he's being crushed under the weight, and you slowly see him because he's thinking about Aunt May and all the people that are going to be hurt if he doesn't get out of it, and he slowly lifts it up.
Wow, I thought I knew Spider-Man, but that's not ringing a bell for me. I thought I knew early Spider-Man. That's not ringing a bell.
I'll send you a link. I'm sure you've seen it.
I must have seen it because I've read 20 times every early Spider-Man issue, but that one's not ringing a bell. Huh.
Here. Just type into Google Steve Ditko Spider-Man lifts.
Spider-Man lives?
Lifts. Lifts.
Lifts.
It's issue 34, Jess.
Issue 34. Okay. Okay, well, I'll check it out.
Yeah. I think that it didn't quite hit as well as it did in the comic. That's just my 2 cents.
Okay. I'll check it out. I can't believe I wasn't familiar with that. I'm not. I mean, I can't be familiar with everything. I'm just. Yeah, the spoilers are over.
Somebody asked, what the hell happened to Steve Ditko? Is he still alive? He's a recluse. He lives in New York. He just quit comics altogether. It happens to some people. It happened to what's his face from Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some guys, they once they're done, they put out their magnum opus or they put out their thing that they could live the rest of their life. Some people don't like living in the spotlight. Crazy, I know, especially today with everybody that likes to be so interconnected and so in the spotlight and stuff. Some people don't like that. They just want to fall off the grid and they just want to be happy with their family and live a peaceful rest of their life. The new Defenders trailer, are you excited for it? Somebody says Ditko is still releasing comics. He's never stopped. What?
Really?
No, he's not. Ditko hasn't released anything in years.
I'm unfamiliar with it if he is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ditko hasn't released anything in years.
Oh, well, I haven't. John says it. I haven't seen any of his stuff. Stop.
Did anybody pre-order? Did anyone pre? Yeah, please stop yelling. Stop being childish. Did anyone pre-order Super Nintendo this morning? I got one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I ended up getting one.
And where did you get that from? Walmart?
Walmart. Yep.
Nice. You have the go-ahead if you ever see the colored controller switch now to call me, and I will pay. I know, but I will PayPal you the funds like immediately. You have the go-ahead now to pick it up. I
told you, man.
I really want to play Zelda.
Yeah, I told you, dude. I
know. That was a golden opportunity.
And
it was a golden opportunity. I know, the one I really want.
For those of you that don't know, there's a Walmart that's like 5 minutes away from my house. And I knew Jess had wanted to get a Nintendo Switch, and he wanted the color version with the 2 different colored Joy-Cons. And I got there, and they had like 5 of them sitting in the shelf. And I sent a picture to Jess, and I was like, dude, it's here. Do you want it? And I can kind of just picture furiously like pacing your room thinking, do I really want this right now? Because you saw it, and it took you like all about 10 minutes to respond back a solid no.
Yeah. I think I had just picked up a PS4 at that time, and I thought, I can't justify it. But now I can justify it. Now you'll never find them again. I know, I blew that.
That's fine. It's like you said, you had just picked up a PS4, and I think if I had sent you that, your wife would have, if she noticed it, she'd be like, you just have a PS4.
Yeah, well, that's true.
That's where you break out the John Hahn protocol.
I'm going to be using that regarding some statues coming up. the Hahn protocol is going to be used maybe a couple times at the end of this year.
I've used the John Hahn protocol this year alone.
Oh, have you?
I've used it, yeah.
For what?
Oh, it was. What did I buy earlier this? I think it was like the 3 Amazing Spider-Man omnibuses, where we were trying to save money for a while, and I just went, I really want to read these, and just bought like all 3 of them in one go. And they showed up at the door, and I get a text message from my girl while I'm at work, and I'm like, oh shit.
So you've used the Hahn protocol too.
Yeah, the Hahn protocol works. You just got to be smart about it and use it sparingly.
Right.
Because if you use the John Hahn, you get about once, maybe twice a year that you can use the John Hahn protocol.
Oof, I think you can only use it 2 or 3 times a lifetime.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tricky situation to handle. using the Han protocol, man. That I don't know. I've only used it once, and I think I need to use it again coming up at the end of the year. But that'll probably be it.
If you're smart, you can use it at Christmas.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. I used it one. I've used it so far. I've used it twice. Once during Christmas and once earlier this year.
The Christmas Han Protocol. The Han Protocol Special Edition. I like it.
I like the fact that I mentioned the John Han protocol to John Han, and he's like, "Oh, I've totally used it." I'm like, oh, that's great. You've used your own protocol. Do you want to go ahead and explain to these people what it is? Because it seems like a really in joke.
Yeah.
Or do you want to keep it to yourself for right now?
I'll keep it to myself.
Okay. Just keep it to ourselves for right now.
Yes, I did see Logan. It was great.
Love Logan.
I choked up at it.
You meant John Hamm. No, John Han.
John Han, a member in the Omnibus Collectors Group.
Yes. Caldwell Comics, closest Walmart to me is 1.5 hours away. Same with any fast food. Dude, where do you live?
Wow.
Wow.
That actually might be a good thing that he's not close to a Walmart.
Yeah. Do you live like in the suburbs and like on the middle of the farm or something? I'm trying to be insulting. I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah, because they seem to be all over the place.
Yeah. You should watch Mad Men, Lewis. I've seen Mad Men. I've seen the first season. Then I fell off. Favorite 90s Disney movie? Hercules.
90s.
Mm-hmm. I believe Hercules was in the 90s.
Hercules was good. I liked it. You know what? What movie I liked that is underrated was The Emperor's New Groove. I thought that was a great movie, but I think Mulan is my favorite 90s Disney movie.
Ooh, that's a good pick, man.
I did like Mulan.
That is a very good pick. You know that they're rebooting it, right? They're doing a live action movie?
I heard, yeah, that they were doing live action.
And they're doing a lot of that stuff now. And that they're doing Aladdin and Will Smith will be the genie.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Not crazy about that.
No, I'm not a big Will Smith fan. I'm a big Jada Pinkett Smith fan, but not Will Smith.
Caldwell says he lives on an island off North Carolina. Huh.
Wow. It must be paradise.
It must be really nice, dude.
Yeah, I want to live on an island off of North Carolina.
Ooh, Dylan. Dropping the Iron Giant on us. It's not a Disney movie, but the Iron... Wait, is it? No.
No, it's not a Disney movie.
But Iron Giant is phenomenal.
There's Beto with Big Willie style. Get out of my face, man.
Do you remember that in the 90s? Big Willie style?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hatteras Island. I want to come there. I want to come there and live there. Yeah, no, I don't want to get jiggy with it either.
I'm good. I don't need to get jiggy with it.
I don't need to get jiggy with anything.
I'm 28 years old. I don't need to get jiggy with anything.
No, I'm 30 years older than that. My jigginess is gone. I'm all out of jiggies to give.
Hey, you are pretty spry for an older gentleman, Jess. You still should be golfing, man. You're still playing. You're still on the range.
Yeah, I'm still playing golf. Yeah, I got new knees, so it gave me a second chance.
Have you ever played tennis?
Yeah, I used to play. That was my wife and my first date was playing tennis. I used to play a lot of tennis growing up, but I can't with the new knees.
Oh, you can't play tennis yet with the new knees?
No, tennis and running are two things I can't do. That's what they told me.
What about the elliptical? Can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
That's good.
Elliptical, stationary bike. I can do any of that kind of stuff.
What about biking? Have they cleared you to do any not serious like biking, like anything like that, but like just basic riding bikes and stuff?
Oh yeah, sure, I can do that.
That's
I
good.
just can't do anything with an impact, like running, and the cutting back and forth that you would do in tennis would be bad for my knees.
Oh yeah, because it's literally you stop, then you gotta go, stop, go. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to be pretty good at tennis. It's been a while.
Oh.
Favorite tennis player, John McEnroe. It's the only tennis player I know other than the Venus sisters. I don't know anything about tennis. I just like playing it. Okay. It's getting pretty late. Do you want to call it?
Wow, it's 11 past 11:30. Yeah.
This was a good one. This
was got a lot of good questions.
Yeah, you guys were really good on this one. There was a lot of interacting from you guys. It's 11:30. I'm actually feeling pretty good too. If you guys want to call it, it is 11:30, guys. We've been on for almost 2 hours at this point, and it's been a blast so far. So what I'm going to say is, Jess, where can they find you?
They can find me. Try your hand at pole vaulting. I try my hand at watching stripper poles. That's what I do. Let's see. You can find me on Omnidog's Vault is my YouTube channel. I just put out 3 videos Friday night, which was last night. And you can also see me on the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap and Community Facebook page.
There you go. You can find me right here. The best way to get a hold of me is through the Facebook in the description below, the Twitter in the description below. And if you like this kind of conversation that me and Jess do, we actually do this on a weekly basis. We talk about the news that has come out. This week we covered quite a few things. It was a good week. We covered George Romero's death. We covered the new Star Wars land. We covered a bunch of stuff from the Disney Expo that was this past week. It was a really good show. That can all be found at patreon.com/hardcover reviews. For $5 a week, you get all that stuff. And I'm going to be uploading the notes of the Superman stuff and the voiceover stuff that I do. And look out for some of the other videos. I have the Berserk video done. It's just got to be edited. And this week's next voiceover video will be where to start reading with the Flash. So look.
Oh, good. You're churning out some interesting stuff, man.
Yeah. I mean, the Superman video in the past, I think that went up like 3 days ago. It's got 900 views and over 130 likes so far.
Wow. That's awesome.
So, yeah, that's part of the reason why I'm changing the format.
Yeah, people are really digging it.
They're really enjoying it. So have a good night, everybody.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Bye.